I'm just curious to know like how you started out like working on creating the songs.
Well, I would say it starts from the game, always. And we try to bring everything that was in the game into the song and then see if we feel like there's something lacking or need something else or whatever else. And then the story, we always talk about what the story of the character in question is. And that's always just a really fun conversation to have. Right, Josh?
Yeah. What's this guy's problem?
Yeah. What's his problem? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the method now. But yeah, I think when we started in the very beginning, it was the Dr. Wily song. And we're like, we have this world. I think that song sort of introduced this, I want to be the one who fights for justice. And that was the first song. So that guided us.
Right.
And then I think Metal Man was the second one.
It absolutely was.
Eric was playing the like got that loop down perfect, recorded it. And I remember him calling me and leaving a voicemail being like, yo, you're missing it. We nailed it. And like he recorded it and it was like you had a drum beat going to it. I was like, oh, and I like drove over and you already kind of had it on loop and you're like, it's got these other parts, and we started layering it in. So I think it was like at that point it was sort of like, how can we take this game, because now it was just let's take apart this game and take all the sounds and see what we can loop and turn into a song. And that song was like catchy, and Eric had a vision for that song. I think that was the second song, and I think Eric kind of guided that one.
Yeah.
He ended up singing that one because he was like, no, because I think my instinct was to keep it like a rock song, and Eric had this sort of like, I don't know, twist to it that he wanted to add. He's like, try this. I see your lyrics. Let me do this. And you were like kind of messing. I remember him being in the kitchen of his apartment. We didn't live together yet. And Eric was like cooking up something in his robe. And I think he was like just singing. He's like, I was like, okay, welcome to my level. My name is, Metal Man. It was like real straightforward.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, okay, I hear, let me mess with that. Yeah. Welcome to my level, and I was like, oh, that works. Okay, hold on, that was kind of like the way it went. So I think, and then Woodman, I remember, was an interesting turn because Woodman was the first time where that Woodman has that breakdown in that song, and I think that was the third song, maybe third or fourth. And I just remember that song.
It had to have been the third song because. Mm-hmm. Was it Airman? No, Airman was after that.
Yeah, Airman was like, oh, we're on to something,
Yeah.
But Woodman, I remember the struggle with Woodman was there's that breakdown in Woodman. It's like do 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 do, that part. And I think initially, I remember, Eric, you already started working on that, and you were like, I don't know how to make this song a song, and you took it apart, you took the pieces apart, and then you started like adding to it, playing, like taking the notes that already were there and like playing like kind of a different rhythm with it and doing like and when I showed up, it was just like, what is this song? It's not the original song. But what ended up happening was the piece of the new song that you had written, I think that was like either the chorus or the verse of the new song, and it ended up being the breakdown of what is now Woodman, which is interesting. But I remember that was the song where it was like, do we only use what's in the song, or do we start there and build a new song? And that was the one where it was like, whoa, let's go back to the original and try to like make it closer to it. But I remember that one's lyrically, that was also the struggle with that one was Eric was like, you really want to sing about him being a wood robot? Yeah. That's the story. And I'm like, yeah. It's perfect.
He's so unique in the universe. Yeah.
It's definitely enough. I don't know.
Yeah, then that was, I think that and then Airman was probably the last time that was enough. And then we had to start getting into like psychology.
Yeah.
Instead of just describing what was happening.
Yeah. I mean, now it's become like, now it's evolved into, okay, what's the power? What's the level? What's the song sound like? What emotions does it evoke? What do you see?
Yeah.
And like, how does that make this character unique from every other character?
Right.
You know? So it gets harder and harder each time. So I guess that's always been the game, as it keeps, okay, now we can't sing about that last thing.
Yeah. In reality, they're probably all motivated by the same thing.
Yeah, they're all exactly
That's no fun.
song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to defeat you, Mega Man.
Yeah.